Hello everybody, welcome back to Jared Opens a Box here on Jared Takes the L. And we have yet another great episode for you guys here today because we are once again We are once again entering the world of Pokemon. We've done how many Pokemon videos here on Jared Opens a Box now since 2020, and we are doing it once again. And again, Funko always has the weirdest assortment of characters, like with each wave. At the beginning, it kind of made sense because, they started with Pikachu and the starter Pokemon from Gen 1. And then they also had the evolutions in a wave. And then it kind of started getting a little weird after that, where figures just were coming out in random assortments. And this is another example of that. 3 Pokemon that have absolutely nothing to do with one another. But I guess, Funko really wanted to just make these and they put them together here. So our first one for today is actually another starter Pokemon. This is, of course, Chimchar. So this is a really, really cool choice here, although I have to question why Funko didn't make the other 2 starters from Chimchar's generation. Instead, it seems like, based on the next wave that's already come out at this point, but that will be on the channel later, they're moving on to the most recent starter Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. So it kind of skips the other 2 from Chimchar. I think Chimchar, was he Generation 2 or 3? I think he was Gen 3, Chimchar. I think that was one with Totodile and all that. I probably should have looked that up beforehand, but I do apologize if I got that wrong. But here's Chimchar, Pop Games number 963. There's the box. Again, Pokemon boxes are all mostly the same. The only difference is that they have the Pokemon type on the back and on the sides, which of course Chimchar is a fire type, if you were unable to tell from the name and just the look of the figure. And there's the other 2 we're going to be taking a look at here shortly, but let's go ahead and open Chimchar up. Alright. So the design for this one isn't too crazy, but then again, not many Pokemon Pops are. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. Chimchar does look pretty good, though. It's fairly accurate. They even gave him this pose is like the generic Chimchar pose. Like if you were to look up a picture of him on Google, it would probably be him in this pose. So I think that was kind of funny. He has a little like fire hair thing, whatever this is supposed to be, on top of his head. He is, of course, a fire monkey, which you can tell he does have a little bit of a tail down here as well, which is completely fire. And the rest of the design is pretty much just orange and almost like a tan color. And it is really, really cool. I like that Funko is doing some of the other Pokemon other than, I guess, the more popular ones. Like the other one that we're going to be reviewing here in a second is definitely not one that I thought, would have been more popular, but it also is probably simple for them to make as well. So he also has the little eye, little red stuff behind his eyes there, and also in his ear. So there's Chimchar, really cool pop. I would like for them to make Chimchar's final evolution, which is Infernape, I believe is the name. I would like to see that one as a Funko Pop, because I do like the design for that one. But I guess we have Chimchar for now, so we can't complain too much there. All right, on to our next one. And like I said, this one definitely caught me by surprise. Was not expecting Funko to make this one, especially when there are like still 700 other Pokemon that have yet to be made. But we have Snubbull. And like I said, very interesting choice for a character here. It's not really a Pokemon that I ever even think about. Like, I don't think many people ever remember Snubbull. But again, I like the variety. Even though it doesn't make any sense, I still think it's cool. But this is Pop Games number 964. The side and the back of the box. I'm not entirely sure. Is Snubbull a psychic type? Is that what he is? Or is that supposed to be fairy type? Because, I mean, I'm not like well-versed in Pokemon. I love the series, but I don't always know, everything about it. So I'm not 100% sure, but if there are any Pokemon enthusiasts in the comments, I would love to hear. You can definitely, you can tell me what that is, and you can say that I'm terrible with Pokemon stuff. I don't care, but I need to know what that is in the back there. But let's go ahead and open Snubbull up here. Another very tiny one too. It's very small. I don't even know if this one is the full 3.75 inches or whatever a Funko Pop usually is. All right, so here is Snubbull. Again, it's a mix of like a bulldog, which you can definitely tell from kind of the face, especially the mouth there with the sharp teeth, and something else. Not entirely sure what else it's a mix of, but it's kind of cool. It has these little, I don't even know what you would call that either, but these little things, little hair or whatever that's supposed to be. And then a body type that kind of reminds me a little bit of Munchlax, you know, like with like the almost dress-looking feature, and even some little paws on the back or, you know, on the feet there. The rest of the, it's not really an outfit. This is part of the Pokemon. There's really no outfit here at all. But it does have like a blue frilly thing around Snubbull's neck and then some blue dots and everything on there. So another very accurate Funko Pokemon pop. Honestly, it's kind of hard to go wrong with this one because it's another very easy design to make. So there was no room for error, really. If they had screwed this one up, then I don't know. I don't even know. It would have been awful. But there's Snubbull. Nonetheless, I do like this one. It's not my favorite, but I do think, given the fact that it is accurate to what Snubbull looks like, and I mean, you know, there's not much else to really say about it, but it's accurate, so I can't complain too much. Now, this next one, and the last one for the video, is the one I was most excited about because I absolutely love this Pokemon, and it was also my main in Super Smash Bros. 4, or at least one of them. I am, of course, talking about Greninja. So, yes, we finally got Greninja, and this makes yet another Funko Pop of a Super Smash Bros. Character, most of which being Pokemon, but there have been others. There was, of course, a very recent Banjo-Kazooie Funko Pop coming out, just saying, may or may not be coming later this year, as well as some others, obviously Sonic, Ryu, stuff like that. Greninja joins the lineup of Super Smash Bros. Fighters to get a Funko Pop, and he is also Pop Games number 968. Wait. I just realized something. Okay, so Chimchar's 963, Snubbull's 964, but Greninja's 968. So who are the other? They're missing a couple in there. I wonder who they're missing. Maybe it's the 10-inch pops. Which I gotta remember which one was Cresselia. I'll have to look that up. But that's really bizarre, actually, that Greninja's so far out there. But nonetheless, there he is. Of course, a water type. I do know that one, so the Pokemon enthusiasts don't have to go after me there. But there is his box. I'm really excited to see what this looks like. And it seems like whenever there's anything for Greninja, they always seem to have him in the exact same pose, which is this one. Like, literally, he's always in this exact same pose. He was in it in the Pokemon games, in the Smash Bros. Games. His Smash Bros. 4 artwork was literally in this pose, and now his Funko Pop is also in the same pose. So I don't know what it is with this, but apparently they really like putting Greninja in this pose. But yeah, this is a sick pop. Of course, Greninja is literally just a ninja frog hybrid. This little thing, this thing right here that you see that's wrapped around his mouth, that's actually his tongue. So yes, and for those of you who are wondering, now you know. That is, of course, part of his design. He also has a lot of amphibian-like features, since, again, he does evolve from Frogadier, who is literally just a frog. And so you see a lot of the gills and the fins and stuff all around the figure. He also has the padded feet as well that you would expect from a frog or other amphibian. And he has these little things on him as well. So this is actually incredibly accurate. It's almost kind of a flimsy figure, so you do have to be kind of careful. It's also very awkward to hold. You probably see me struggling to figure out how to even hold him. But I love it. I think it's awesome. Absolutely nailed this design down. I have no other choice, I think, but to give Greninja a 10 out of 10. It's obviously one of my favorite Pokemon Pops that we've gotten so far. I think they really nailed this one out of the park. It's on par with like Lucario and Charizard, which I still think are some of the other best Pokemon Pops we've gotten. This one is definitely up there as well. So Greninja, 100% 10 out of 10 due to its accuracy and looks and everything like that. In terms of the other two, they weren't nearly as crazy as Greninja. They were still fairly accurate. So I'll give Snubbull and Chimchar both an 8 out of 10. I'll play it fair. Even if their designs aren't necessarily my favorite, I still think that they're incredibly accurate. They do look good. So for those reasons, I got to give them a good rating. The Pokemon Pops typically always seem to do well. mostly because they're pretty simple to make. There's very few that are complicated, and we're kind of seeing that with the 10-inch pops. We have another one, actually another two coming later this year. So we'll see. You'll see how those go. But these ones are another great batch of Pokemon pops, and I'd love to hear down below what your guys' thoughts are. Which one of these is your favorite? We, of course, had Chimchar, we had Snubbull, and, of course, we had Greninja. And, again, I've already said my favorite. I think I made it pretty obvious. But I'd love to know which is your favorite, so feel free to comment that down below. And next week, we're going to have a really cool video, another first time ever on Jared Opens a Box. We're going to be reviewing a figure from one of the most popular indie games of all time, a game that's been on the channel a couple of times, and it's actually celebrating its 10th anniversary this year as well. And 2 weeks from today, we're going to be celebrating the 10th anniversary of another game that has made quite the name for itself on the channel, a game changer for me. We're finally going to be celebrating that in 2 weeks. So I'm sure you already know what I'm talking about, but we're going to have a great video to celebrate it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.